Okay, let's get started for today's weekly Townhall meeting, January 16th, 2023. Today's agenda: project and development updates, documentation updates, marketing and content updates, collaborations, and Q&A. Robinson, can you please start us off with project and development updates?
Thank you. So let's begin with our overall generating metrics. So this is different. We have moved different from the previous week where we did a summary of the two previous quarters. So now from this week onwards, we are moving to a normal format where we talk about the status across the previous 2 weeks. So beginning with the change lead time or speed, the commit to release time is projected to be around 10.95 days. This is in general an improvement over our overall trend for the last 6 months, where it was 25 plus days. And also, this is important to note that the previous 2 weeks, many of the developers are away, and the number of commits were down. Commits and MRs were quite down. So even then, the trend is looking pretty promising. Let's go to the next slide. This one is about our releases and deployments. So we're not having we didn't do any deployments over the last 2 weeks. So we don't have any data for the number of deployments. So let's go to the next slide. On the number of pull requests, as I indicated, we are down for this metric as well. So since on the blockchain side and most of the developers are away, and we are also ramping up for other new projects like Together and Peerview, where commits have not started happening, and Peerlink is on hold. So number of pull requests is pretty low. It's around 5, and I think from next week onwards it will start going up to our normal trend of around 10 to 12 per week. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So the quality metrics also, this is inconclusive because we have monitored others against the releases that we have. But at the same time, it's interesting to note that we've been making a lot of changes or work on the QA side. There are commits and changes happening on the QA side, because since we're working on on automated testing, QA team was making a lot of commits, but we're not yet in a stage where we can do releases. So the point is that these two stats, both quality and the number of releases, it's not fully accurate. Ideally we should have had at least one release. So that's on the metric side, and let's move on to the next slide for individually product updates. Starting with blockchain updates. So we are continuing to work on the Ethereum Suns. So the POC is available, and the QA team is trying to figure out bugs or other improvements that we need to make. So we're finding various edge cases, especially since we have split Suns into 3 different groups. So there are a few edge cases that we are identifying and addressing. And we're also turning more test cases, automated test cases using Python. And we're covering various Sun features, heartbeat related test cases, etc. That's on progress. And on the substrate side, we were on hold for the last 2 weeks because both the developers are on vacation. They're back, and this week onwards we will continue working on the substrate R&D as well. That's the blockchain releases. on the details. And yeah, we will also be we're planning alpha release, which would happen sometime in early next week. And on the next, I guess the commendable work is on the QA automation side, where the QA is doing an excellent job at integrating with our automation tool, Minta. And from the DevOps, we've also integrated with the CI/CD, and we are so right now we are able to invoke these tests from the CI/CD. And it's important to note that we're not just tackling the regression, we are also handling the performance testing as part of or using this automated test suite. So regression tests can also be triggered based on various conditions. Let's say when we have a release, we can launch performance test cases, but not avoid launching regression test cases. And whenever developers are creating a new MR, we can handle those in such a way that for every MR that is created, the entire regression suite can be manually triggered. So we are very close to implementing this that level of control. And there are these graphs which are showing how these. We also have reports, so there are these graphs which are showing the reports, and we have covered almost, or rather created around 45 test cases so far, and we are adding more test cases as we progress. So I think the most important change or improvement is on the QA side, and this is going to help with our release time frame as well. As we were talking in the previous town halls, one of our challenges is that the time for releases is quite long. But with this automation, we'll be able to run any of these test suits like performance or regression against any given branch of Next. So we are entering this beautiful stage. So I guess that's the most important work that's happening on the Next. I'm not undermining the work which is happening on the development side, where we are working on the we are enhancing the market page, and various other improvements are also happening. So that's next, and we are inching close to our first release or the general availability at this point. So that's next. So please let's move to the next slide. Yeah, on the peer link, we are in discussion with the Speak team to understand how to handle the backend. So there are new even though there are various discussions happening, there are no new code changes here. So even though the UI is pretty much completed. And in addition to this, we are also inching close to the completion of Peerplays Python library, and we had also completed the JS lib, and then on the new development, we are planning to start with development on together peer view, etc., which will happen in the upcoming weeks. So that's all from the development team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robinson. Sean, documentation updates, please.
So for our documentation updates, we have our Kickstart guide for new Peerplays developers, and that process is coming along pretty well. We have coming up fee details for blockchain transactions, mostly around NFT and Sun transactions. We're going to create a mainnet risk register, and functional specifications are coming up for peer view, along with the requirements docs. I'm also coming up with a process for review cycles to keep our public documentation up to date. And thank you very much. That's my update for today.
Thank you, Sean. Michael, marketing and content updates, please.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, everyone. Happy Blue Monday. The focus for this week for the marketing team remains completion of a ad campaign strategy for the DEX launch, which based on last week's leadership meeting of Jan 11th has been scheduled for February the 14th. Again, we will be breaking this into a 30-day campaign, two-week campaigns, one pre-launch, one considered post-launch. Once we get through that period, as we get closer to the actual launch, we will integrate communications to support the DEX platform into our regular communications. We have a second planning meeting today in about an hour and a half to finalize accountabilities for the marketing assets listed below. Kelly, could you go to the next slide, please? Just to give everyone an idea, we are breaking this down as much as we possibly can. I've included the team member owners and the accountabilities and the assets that they will be created. Those will be finalized by Wednesday of this week. And we'll have a clearer idea of exactly the volume of content that we will be producing after the conclusion of today's meeting. We'll provide a full matrix of the marketing assets and the campaign deliverables at next week's update. Next slide, please, Kelly. Our regular emails, weekly emails with respect to this meeting, the Town Hall, continue to perform fairly comparatively week to week. For the last Friday's email, the top 5 links were product development updates, documentation updates, collaboration updates, blockchain updates, and the reaction video that Jonathan completed last week. I would like to ask if anyone in the organization feels that there are content suggestions that they'd like us to integrate into these emails, we are all ears. And additionally, if anyone feels that they would like to contribute, we welcome that participation. So please reach out to either Mo or myself with any suggestions or contribution ideas that you have for this email. Next slide, Kelly, please. We've made some adjustments to our video content on YouTube. We now have an intro, outro, and some overlays with respect to calls to action. We've also started to integrate some of the themes and the content of Jonathan's vision document for 2023 into our articles. This will be an ongoing strategy to make sure that what we're writing about in terms of original content mirrors the overall direction of the organization throughout 2023, as well as ensuring that we include all of the pertinent updates from the product and development team on that issue. Mo and I have a new weekly meeting with Bobbinson on Tuesdays to dissect the contents of Bobinson's Town Hall updates as per a couple of minutes ago, just to make sure that the devil is in the details and we make sure that all of the communications that we're sending out to the community and to the general public is 100% accurate. Next slide, Kelly, please. Just a quick slide on metrics for the second week of January continues to trend upwards. We've made a bit of a recovery following the holiday period. Obviously, there's a lot less people checking their inboxes, going to our website. However, these numbers continue to trend up, and we expect those to continue their upward trend as we go through January and February of 2023, and the ad campaign for DEX kicks in. With that concludes this week's marketing update. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Michael. Jonathan, collaboration update, please.
Thank you very much. These are the collaboration updates for Peerplays this week. So, in gaming, the Gaming Benefits Corporation for the regulated charitable gaming sector. We've been working with them for some time now. For those who haven't been following, we have a very strong alignment where they'll be using Peerplays blockchain in their applications. This includes GLI verified and certified applications, and of course, this positions Peerplays for being the preferred blockchain for GLI certified and verified type games in the gaming sector. So we've continued to work with them on this. We've recently got the data models ready to go. We're now getting underway with the development. So we had another call with them last week where this was reviewed, and things look good on that front. So the expectation is that this year they're going to be going to market with all of this. So pretty exciting stuff. In the governance sector, Government Blockchain Association, in decentralized ID and gaming, Peerplays is going to be having a much more involved role there. We spent some more time with their community this past week to get more involved in the decentralized ID group. So we would be involved in that work group, and we would participate in forming the standards which would go around decentralized ID as well as in the gaming sector. So those will contribute to the blockchain maturity model, which the Government Blockchain Association provides to not just governments, but companies around the world. So that will be another place where Peerplays will be featured as a preferred blockchain for decentralized ID, if not gaming. And that's, of course, what is helping us also in terms of our future development to ensure that the types of development that we do is going to be able to meet these same standards. So quite exciting. And in the community sector, Avalon Meta. So with Scenes, a community platform which we've nurtured along over the years. And we are continuing to work with them. We were expecting a significant upgrade or a significant update last week. Unfortunately, though, it didn't come through. However, I did have follow-up calls with the CEO and spoke about the future of the company and where it's going. They've got some exciting things that are happening with the application, and of course after that call, it helped smooth over some of the communication challenges, I guess, in understanding what issues we're having with the Scenes platform in getting it ready for community use. So that went well. In this week, we're expecting to see that update come through, as well as came to an understanding in terms of having more integration with new features that are going to better align with Peerplays going into the future. So that's going to be an ongoing discussion. And they are planning to work with another company in regards to their future growth. I've been put in touch with the CEO of that company as well. I'm not naming anything yet because nothing's been, the whole thing hasn't been finalized. But it's exciting prospect, and with that CEO, I'm also going to be having discussions with them about how their use of Avalon Meta and its Scenes platform will be able to better integrate with Peerplays. So some exciting fronts in our collaboration. In terms of dedicated team updates, we had one graphic designer, Abigail Manuel. She was one of two graphic designers that we had working with the team, and unfortunately she's no longer with us simply because she had gone as far as she could in terms of her development, in terms of her graphic design, and that was something that was important to her in terms of her growth in her career, as well as her passion as a graphic designer. And so she's moved on to other places where she'll be able to get better support and mentorship in order to be able to enhance and grow in her craft and her desire to really focus on graphic design. So we wish her well and hope that she's going to continue to expand in her craft, which is quite good. So I'm looking forward to some future things and where she may even come back and be able to contribute some exciting stuff to Peerplays. But for now, she wants to grow further. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. However, this doesn't affect any of our needs or ambitions in terms of the plans that we have with Peerplays. We have other graphic designers working with us as well, and they'll be able to pick up on what Abigail will no longer be doing. So that's the updates for this week in collaborations.
Thank you, Jonathan. On to questions, comments, thoughts. I've had 4 that came in from the community here. Jonathan, before for you. First question is, what is the difference between the new and old decks? When is the release date?
Thank you. So functionality, security, and design are the primary differences in terms of this new decks per se versus the old. It's really, it comes down to what's happening with the front end. From a strategic point of view, though, this provides the foundational interface, the bones, so to speak, of which all Peerplays dApps will evolve and grow. As Michael mentioned in his previous update, the release date is set for February 14th. So it's coming up pretty soon. We're less than a month away.
Thank you. Second question. Will there be a participation rewards model for PPY in the future?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's a good question. The short answer is absolutely. There will be some form of a quote-unquote participation rewards in the future. The current model is very basic and needs to evolve. With the introduction of new mechanics, we can have what we call as better humanomics that keep the motivation of seeking rewards to a minimum. So why would you want to do that? This comes back to a topic that we've discussed at length over the years regarding carrot and stick mechanics in blockchain and how damaging it is to the adoption and growth of the crypto sector in general. So a humanomic focus works in a more nuanced way that functions in the system more like what you would call a thanks, like getting thanks for something, instead of the current mode, which is if you do this, I will give you that, or if you do this, or I will take away that, right? Which is the carrot and the stick type of approach. When you do this, people's intrinsic interest in whatever they're doing get trampled on. They get pounced. They get taken away. It's a dehumanizing experience. And why do we call it dehumanizing? It's because the world is filled with these types of things, largely based on superstitions of people believing that people believe that people are like donkeys, essentially. That they'll only move when a carrot is dangling in front of them, or when they're hit with a stick, right? And of course, who's dangling the carrot and who's hitting you with a stick? It's the master. It's someone controlling you. So people, though, are far more complex than that, though. That's the reality. And real contributing value comes when people intrinsically have interest in what they're doing first. And the thanks for that comes randomly when they contribute, right? So just think about all the various things in your life that you have an interest in. You don't do them because you're getting paid for them. People don't have hobbies because they get paid for them. People don't go out and enjoy certain things because they get paid for them, because they're going to get a reward. These are the mechanics that we need to stay away from in order for adoption to happen. So there are tons of studies and research that supports the damaging effects of rewards and illustrate their short life effect, meaning that they're effective in achieving something, but for a very short period of time. In Peerplays, we can instead choose the human-friendly approach, right? And gain a unique and sustainable position compared to what's happening in the rest of the crypto space. So it's going to help greatly in creating sustainable and engaging community that breaks out from the current limitations the crypto space has experienced over the years. So I know it's a bit of a long answer, but it's when it comes to participation rewards and things like that, it's important to understand that this is a point that a lot of people have missed in the crypto space, and it gives us a unique opportunity to be able to shine. So I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Next question. Will there be a sport betting system?
Okay, so thank you for the question. There is already a sports betting system in Peerplays. It's been talked about quite extensively, especially in the last quarter. A new release came out in late last year to ensure that everything end to end for the whole sports betting exchange functions in Peerplays was working, and all the latest security updates were completed. So anyone, can download the code and follow the documentation to launch a sports betting exchange if they choose to. Okay, so the only thing missing in terms of seeing that happen appears to be intrinsic interest from the community members to bootstrap it, right? There has to be that drive to want to do it. And if the community showed enough interest in using such a system, I'm fairly optimistic that a handful of what we know are as anonymous users or anonymous members of who frequent the public chats and Peerplays could start rolling it out inside of a month. I can't see it taking more than a month to actually get set up. You could probably do it in a few weeks if you really. You could do it in a week if you wanted to if you put some real effort into it. But give it a month to line up everybody, and when it comes to decentralized things, they go slower. You could have it happen, but and I think it would be exciting to see something like that happen. And with the new GPOS consensus, it actually would be much more profitable today, since only those who participate in securing the network will capture the admin fees that come from running the sports betting exchange. So yeah, that's we essentially already have a sports betting system per se, to answer your question, and it's really a matter of how it's going to be bootstrapped. So that's the answer.
Thank you. Last question from the community for today. How much usage do you expect with the new UI for DEX?
Oh, wow. Good question. I have no idea right now. That's the truth. That's the only honest answer I could give in regards to that question. I know from the same reports that Michael shared just earlier in today's town hall that there will be a fairly decent marketing campaign around the official release of this new UI. So from that, we should learn quite a bit about how the market perceives this new UI and this new DEX and how they use it. Anyone interested in capturing value of these campaigns could consider using Peerplays DEXbot. So you can find that in the Peerplays public repos. Again, the code's available. You can run it. You can run it on your desktop. Like it's a very user-friendly type of application. So you can run it on a desktop computer and set a variety of strategies to respond to Peerplays DEX activity. So now this DEXbot is actually a fork of the original BitShares DEXbot. So just on the interface, it wasn't designed for end users per se to be super friendly. It was really designed for traders. So it takes on a more technical look to it. But nonetheless, it's open, it's free to anyone who wants to give it a try. We have also provided extensive documentation and to help support anybody who's new to it. So there's that. Now, just a tip. if you're gonna use DEXbot, remember, and again, this goes back to how Peerplays works. Remember that with every trade, this is exciting. Every trade there will be a fee associated with it, right? Now, all those fees go to the GPOS participants who are actively voting to help secure the blockchain. All right, that's how Peerplays works. So rather than just having your fees get burned into their wallets, because that's what happens when people are trading in the DEX, all those fees are transferring over to everybody that's participating in GPOS. Rather than just having that happen, you could instead make it so that your trades could be effectively free by also participating with GPOS with a decent balance, right? So, for example, you could put 80% of your PPY balance into GPOS, then work with the remaining 20% using DexBot is one way it could be done. So in that case, your fees and all the fees in the blockchain, like everybody's, not just your activity, will go to the GPOS participants. And if you have a sizable amount, you could see your PPY increase more than what you've spent even. So, or get a portion of it back for, in part, at least, right? So in terms of the asynchronous opportunity, it's pretty good. This is just one way you can use the Peerplays Dex right now. But with the introduction of the new interface and the increased ease of use in bringing Bitcoin, Hive, HBD, that's Hive backed dollars, into Peerplays, it will make for one of the most user-friendly decentralized exchange experiences available today. So there's definitely going to be something interesting there. And the ability to be able to capture some of the value in that to be first is certainly an opportunity that's open to everybody because it's decentralized. So yeah, and again, that's just a tip. So hope this tip's helpful to anybody out there.
Thank you very much. Was there any questions on the live feed here? Okay, that concludes today's weekly town hall meeting, January 16th, 2023. I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.